Welcome, maybe the best day of the NBA, Thursday night, and we're happy you could be here with us. Kevin Harlan here with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Doris Burke bringing us great reports from the sideline. Looking at Chicago, they want to turn it around after that loss to the Hawks.
And Kevin, they were able to keep that game relatively close, but you could tell things were not clicking for them.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, it could have been worse, though. I mean, they didn't look fresh at any point in the game. Just seemed to be listless.
Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Jordan, he's in at shooting guard. The 3 and 4 are Luol Deng and Taj Gibson. Derrick Rose is out there with Carlos Boozer. And for the Nuggets, Kenneth Faried and JaVale McGee, they're inside. Iguodala out there with Lawson, and it's in at the small forward. Here's Lawson. Iguodala outside. Over Jordan. Iguodala no good. Nuggets on D. They put up a nice win against the Bucks the last time out.
And Kevin, the starters didn't have too much pressure on them in that game because of how effective the bench guys were.
And another thing getting all those quality minutes from the reserves did was keep their starting five fresh for the second half.
Well, this is the first full season of the post-Carmelo era in Denver, and looks to me like the Nuggets are going to be just fine. They've got a collection of talent, maybe not superstar talent, but a lot of very, very good players.
And here are the Nuggets now on the wing. Chandler. That is in there. Lawson with the assist.
Good job creating an easy bucket there.
On defense, Denver. And you don't need an elite superstar to be a factor in the league, and Denver is just a team that has collected talent, and by virtue of the trades he was just kind of talking about, very, very deep.
Yeah, I like that approach. Naturally, you would love to have a superstar, and if they want to get to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league, they might have to add one, but right now, they've shown they can compete with the talent they have.
Chandler's shot, good.
Soft defense right there, way too soft.
Bulls have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
I briefly spoke with Tom Thibodeau. He said that they'd be focusing a lot of their defensive energies on containing Ty Lawson, especially in transition. He added, Lawson is one of the fastest players in the league. So if you let him get out and run, you are putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. We've got to keep him in the half court and limit his penetration. Guys? Thank you, Doris. Here is McGee, following the score by Derrick Rose. The shot's good from Faried.
You know what I love about George Karl is that he always seems to make sense out of chaos. You know, anywhere he's been where there's been some unrest with the players, where there's been conflicting personalities, it hasn't seemed to matter. He's made it work, and he's turned every team into a winner.
And Steve, when you talk about Coach Karl's ability to overcome locker room turmoil, what do you think his secret is?
Well, he's just honest. You know, he's brutally honest, and I think players like that. They don't want to see a politician. They don't want somebody who's going to, you know, just try to figure out how to do things. They just want to see somebody who's going to be honest with them and not play favorites and just, you know, tell the team like it is. And I think that's worked for George Karl over the years.
Rose goes in. Deng lets the 3 fly. It's rebounded by Lawson. And here comes Lawson, leading the fast break. Here's Faried. Chicago grabs the miss. This the first chance to take a look at the Nuggets this season.
Yeah, it was interesting. Last year, they seemed to beat up on teams in their own conference. But for whatever reason, they could not handle these guys.
Now here's Rose. He had a 24-point outing in the last game against the Hawks in Atlanta.
I thought his rebounding was impressive as well, guys. He made some big boards, really helped out on the glass, helped his team out big time.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. Looking back at what you said, Steve, I remember then for the Bulls. Deng comes in for Jimmy Butler, and it's Jordan in for Kirk Heinrich. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, Miller outside. Hamilton sets a screen for Iguodala. And stolen by Jordan. And here we go, the Bulls fast break. Here's Robinson. Iguodala with the block. And they'll keep possession. Robinson missing again.
Difficult shot from mid-range, and the defense was all over him.
Boy, I like the close out there, Steve. Well done.
And another miss by Denver.
Oh, that's a frustrating one there. Easy look at the hoop.
Passes it to Jordan. 41 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And the basket by Muhammad.
And we see him get so many points that way because the effort is there constantly on the offensive glass.
Dishes it to Randolph. There's the pass to Gallinari. Takes the 13-footer. Good. Gallinari's got his first bucket in this one. Chicago leading. Robinson kicks to Jordan. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
Oh, my goodness. What a huge play.
Yeah, he spent a little extra time on the rim there. It looked like he wanted to do a pull-up.
I looked like it checking his landing. I think Clark, man, pretty big statement, too.
Yeah, or so he'd have the refs believe.
And that last replay, courtesy of Sprite. Throws up the alley-oop. And the rebound goes to Nate Robinson.
That was almost a highlight reel play, but they couldn't quite sync up.
And it's in.
That builds a little momentum going into the next quarter.
Yeah, you know, you definitely have to make sure you take advantage.
And we reach the...
On tap next Monday, Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs go up against the Chicago Bulls. Don't miss it.
It's Iguodala with the drive. Rip Hamilton with the rebound.
Now, it would have been fun to see him pull it off, but you really need the points here. Just
Hammer time! Hammer time! You know, that's something he's capable of every trip down.
And it's just impossible to get tired of.
yeah, there's always this excitement, this aura that surrounds him, guys, and the crowd senses it.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play.
They've done their part here to run down a lot of missed shots. A solid rebounding effort.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, they're fighting for every loose ball, putting a body on somebody and going after the rim.
Lawson's against Rose. And Chandler, here we go. Over Hamilton. Again, the miss by Chandler. The Bulls leading by 11. Shoots it. It's Chicago with another win.
Well, he's one of their anchors at the offensive end, guys, because he can make plays like that all the time.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Big group substitution here for Denver. Anthony Randolph, he's checked in for Mozgov. Gallinari comes in for Kenneth Fareed. Jordan Hamilton's checked in for Wilson Chandler. And Corey Brewer's subbed in for Andre Iguodala. Chicago also making some changes. Radmanovich is checked in, and it's Bellinelli in for Richard Hamilton. Lawson, 11 feet out, and he hits it. Bulls have gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far.
And Ty Lawson, another product of the basketball hotbed, Prince George's County, Maryland. The roll call of NBA players from that area, pretty impressive. Kevin Durant, Michael Beasley, Roy Hibbert, Delonte West, Jeff Green, just to name a few.
Back to Gallinari. Feeds it to Brewer. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The fader gets it to go. And Lawson, it seemed, from high school to college in North Carolina, he's always played with a lot of other talented players, Clark.
And even with the Nuggets, Kevin, when you think of their depth, for a point guard, that's always best because you've got plenty of options to serve up and set up. And you don't always have to try to take over the game yourself. So I think it's a good situation for a guy with Lawson's ability.
Gallinari with it. Boozer picks him up. And it's Gallinari missing. The Bulls leading by 12. Here's Bellinelli, and he makes good on the layup. Bellinelli's got 5 now.
And Kevin, while we have a moment here, let's take a look at the Bulls and see where they ranked over the last month in the NBA stats. First in fewest turnovers a game. Second in free throw percentage. And then the top half of the league in getting high percentage shots as well. Not too shabby.
And what's most impressive out of all those numbers, Clark, is the few turnovers that they commit. Because now all of a sudden you're executing and putting a lot of pressure on the defense because they know they're not going to force a lot of steals and get out in transition to find easy points.
Michael Jordan is checked in for Chicago. Robinson comes in for Derrick Rose. 55 seconds left in the second quarter. Miller dishes to Iguodala. Hands the shot with nobody near him. Bulls have gone 7 of 13 from the field since the start of the second. Robinson passes to Jordan. For three. That's good. Jordan's got his third bucket of the night.
He had no luck from the three-point line earlier, so maybe this one will give him some momentum.
Miller kicks to McGee. On the wing, Iguodala. In strong with the one-handed jam.
Did you see that?
Oh, we got to see that one again, guys. We've got to see that again.
I need a replay. I'm not sure what I just looked at.
The Bulls leading by 12. Here's Boozer, and it's Chicago scoring again.
And their shooting really starting to pick up here in the second quarter.
Well, the lead being maintained will not be a problem if they keep shooting the way they have so far.
Iguodala left side. Off the mark from 16 feet out. Outside Jordan, and that's not going to go. That'll do it for the first half. Bulls lead by 14. And we'll be back for the second half following the break. Keep it right here on 2K Sports.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Thursday is always a great night for basketball on 2K Sports, so let's look back at first half action. Chicago with the lead against the Nuggets over at Pepsi Center. A powerhouse team looking to retain their position atop the conference standings. Their work on the offensive boards, a big factor, great effort out there. Derrick Rose playing impressively so far. He's got 6 points and also collected 4 rebounds.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. We've seen Michael Jordan really having a great game.
Well, it's the concentration defensively, the anticipation, the quick hands. He's really been a force, a disruptive player today.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Disruptive, and he really forces you to pay attention to him at all times. You can't be looking around and not protecting the ball when he's around.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. So on the floor for Denver, Kenneth Faried and JaVale McGee, they're inside. Lawson out there with Iguodala, and it's Chandler in at the 3.
He's a bit short for the power forward spot, but his great leaping ability more than makes up for it.
Well, you look at Tom Thibodeau, and remember, he was Doc Rivers' lead assistant.
How about that basketball,
Wasn't that
man?
beautiful?
Wow. Throwing it down with one hand and making it look easy.
Easy and fun. He just thrives on making the D look silly.
Yep, which is something he does pretty often, Kevin.
And the replay, of course, presented by Sprite. What a play. And Faried kicks to Chandler. Shot clock at 6. Now the feed to Iguodala. Outside for Lawson. Takes a 3. And it's Iguodala again missing.
And this is why they have the big lead. The rebounding has been dominant.
You know, guys, the +8 rebounding, I don't think it tells the whole story. I mean, they've been the more physical team. Oh, man, that was unreal. Hark it up. Guys, I'm going to need just a second to get myself together here.
Leaves you speechless, doesn't it, Clark? Huh? Wow.
Man, I don't blame you, Clark. That dunk was unbelievable.
Rose kicks to Dang. Over Chandler. And there's Dang. That's good on the assist by Rose. Rose has gotten 3 assists tonight.
And what I really appreciate, Kevin, is the consistency with that shooting ability. He's a spot-up guy with a quick trigger. So you know if you get him some space as a teammate, he'll get you an assist.
And you've really got to also admire his steadiness. I mean, no matter what the situation is, he's not going to change his game and risk a drop-off. Very consistent in his approach and production.
And Lawson, here we go. And it's McGee with the jam.
Now, that That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it. Find a gap in the defense and attack that rim with force.
He is so good at doing just that.
Maybe as good as anybody. Just so athletic and strong.
Mozgov, he's checked in for the Nuggets.
You know, when you think about height, length, and leaping ability, I'm not sure there's anybody else in the league who combines those attributes like JaVale McGee. Just an amazing athlete for a player of his size.
To the paint. Well-placed alley-oop pass into the layup.
Boy, that was a heck of a catch on that pass, and then to lay it up and in, all in one motion.
That's about as graceful as it gets, huh?
Splendid.
And I like that he just went with the simple layup instead of trying to do anything too fancy. He just got the job done.
When you talk about the athleticism for McGee, his ability to run will serve him well with those Nuggets.
Oh, yeah, he's actually thrived in that up and down open court style the Nuggets play. I mean, they get a guy who can block shots, who has unparalleled length and athleticism. That's a good fit for both. Well, they've built a big lead here so far, and a lot of it has to do with how well they've been rebounding.
Yeah, every time they make a stop, they're securing the rebound, and that's really allowed them to get out to this lead. They continue to barrel their way inside, and when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of their last 10 coming inside.
Iguodala outside. The dish to Fareed. Rebound by the Bulls. Boozer's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. They'll be off next to Utah for a meeting with the Jazz. That will conclude a 5-game road trip for them.
You know, that Utah game has a lot of attention on it.
Here's Rose. That's good. Rose has got 8 points.
And, guys, 10 of their last 12 points coming in the paint.
Yeah, I like their aggressiveness on offense, but the question is, where's the defense? They've got to put up some resistance here. He just hasn't been able to build any momentum in this game. He's got to find something out there.
35 seconds left in the third. Jordan with it. And it's Iguodala picking him up. The drive by Jordan. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Bulls shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night.
Well, this is a club that has hit about 80% of its free throws during the season. Very impressive number.
And they've increased their percentage quite a bit since last season, guys.
Here's what Denver's going with right now. JaVale McGee's checked in for Mozgov. Alinari comes in for Kenneth Fareed. Corey Brewer's checked in for Andre Iguodala. And Andre Miller has subbed in for Ty Lawson. Chandler's shot, good!
That's going to be important for this team to fight over the top of screens defensively.
Yeah, you got to tag him and stay right close to him, because with his touch, he doesn't need much space to get his shot off. Great finish there, Kevin. Took it strong to the cup.
Yeah, an aggressive two-handed jam.
And that's the kind you like, especially in traffic. You got to make sure.
Jordan with it. It'll count. And he drains the 3, but let's see. They may need to review it. I'm not sure the ball was out of his hand in time. And not so fast. The officials are going to check that shot again and make sure they got it right before we go to the 4th.
I think they're going to be able to see pretty clearly on the replay that the shot left his hands in time, guys. The evidence is right there.
Yeah, and this is a big call, guys. I mean, they're going to take a very close look at it, even if it seems clear-cut at first glance.
And they're going to count it. They're overturning the original call after looking at the replay.
Yeah, good to see them get that one right. That's exactly why we have this rule in place. And I like it. Each basket is so important in these games that you just got to make sure you get it right at the end of the quarter.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. It's the Bulls up 19. And we're just moments away from the start of the 4th quarter. Stay with us.
Tune in next Wednesday. The Chicago Bulls take on Rajon Rondo and the Boston Celtics.
So as we get rolling here in the 4th quarter, let's go to our sideline reporter Doris Burke for our Sprite uncontainable game. Doris?
Hey, Kevin. Well, it's the Bulls who've had the uncontainable game. Things have been going their way through the first 3 quarters, and with the way they've executed, there is no reason to think it won't continue on.
Thanks, Doris. The The Nuggets trailed by 19. So for Chicago right now, Jordan in at shooting guard. The 3 and 4 are Luol Deng and Taj Gibson. Carlos Boozer out there with Derrick Rose. And McGee kicks to Fareed. Over Gibson. They get it again. McGee hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch later.
And they keep going right back to the paint, and who can blame them? I mean, they're getting it done in there.
Yeah, 3 of their last 5 buckets, guys, have come from inside the lane area, so I'd expect them to continue to go inside right at the defense.
Andre Miller's checked in for Wilson Chandler. And it's Rose penetrating over Lawson. Again, Chicago.
You know, they're just getting hammered inside and really need to find a way to be tougher down there. They got to be physical. They got to man up in there.
I agree. I mean, you look at the points they're giving up, most of them seem to be coming inside the paint.
Jordan against Miller. The pass to Iguodala. Lawson dishes to Iguodala. Over Jordan. Out to Miller. Kicks it to Iguodala. Second shot opportunity. And he finishes nicely on the layup.
He is always so in control, guys, even when he's going hard to the hoop. Very skilled finisher.
The Bulls leading by 16. The drive by Jordan. Back to Rose. Open look. Another one falls for Chicago.
Well, that's been nice, efficient work, guys, that he's been doing. I mean, we haven't seen him take many bad shots, and that's the sign of a mature, poised player.
Lawson the pass to Miller. He passes it to Iguodala. And Fareed kicks to Iguodala. 6 on the shot clock. And the jam with Iguodala.
You know, how exciting is it, guys, to see him go hard to the basket like that? I love it.
It's always fun to see, and it's one of the sights you can count on when he's out there, for sure.
Yeah, but you've got to try to do more to slow him down. You can't play him so soft near the hoop.
The Sprite replay really gave you a good look at the action. Here's Jordan. No good. The Nuggets trail by 16. Lawson up top. He's covered by Rose. Miller kicks to Iguodala. Makes the lead pass. Fareed kicks it out to Iguodala. Here's McGee. Can't get it to go. Good D by Jordan. Rose against Lawson. Iguodala with the block. Miller right side. Over Deng. Miller, no luck. The Bulls leading by 16. Rose kicks to Jordan. There's the 3. And again, no good by Chicago. The Nuggets shooting a paltry 33% in the fourth. Not a good showing for this offense. For 3, Lawson. Here's Fareed. Gets it to go.
Well, when he came out of college, the one thing you knew with Kenneth Fareed was he was going to give you a lot of hustle. Great rebounder at Morehead State, and he brought that into the league with him. He attacks the ball, he attacks the glass, plays hard on every possession.
That's just the kind of player he is. It's in his nature. He can't help but hustle after missed shots, and he's willing to battle for rebounds and loose balls with anybody. There's no backing down with Fareed. And that one's good.
You know, it is really hard to miss shots that close to the basket.
The Bulls have gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting an even 50% from the field. A nice shot by Jordan.
And they're closing this game out in style. I mean, I like what they're doing here, competing till the very end.
That's certainly what it looks like. I mean, there's no let-up in them so far.
Kicks it out to Iguodala. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. He's off on the first. Both teams will make substitutions. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dream-like games for a coach.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Michael Jordan.